Before we start, I just want to say rest in peace to Rickey Henderson. Undoubtedly the greatest Oakland athlete of all time. If you know me, you know I grew up a big time Oakland A's fan. Look, like Rickey was more of an 80s player than a 90s player, so a lot of it was before my time, but I did get to see him play, and he was one of my first favorite players. It didn't occur to me when I was, 10, 12 years old that he was like 38 years old and still leading the league in steals, and that was like an abnormal thing. Like I just thought that's what happened. But rest in peace, one of the greatest players of all time, and very sad news. Anyway, let's get to today's show. Sorry, guys, I just felt like I had to say that. It's I'm not really processed the A's moving out of Oakland in general, and like losing the players undoubtedly the largest player in franchise history is kind of it's just a lot. It's a lot to process there. But anyway, there is absolutely no way to pivot into a normal conversation off of that. So I'm just gonna go with the normal. Hey guys, get $50 instantly when you play $5. When you enter the promo code on Prize Picks, welcome to Light Years. Whew. Man, I gotta say, the Warriors after Thursday's game really kind of, I was so pissed off. I don't know how to say it. It was like soul crushing. I was like, man, they're fucked, right? And honestly, tonight's game for the most part was not enjoyable. Terrible basketball. No good a shot. But you know what? You can always count on number 30 to rise to the occasion when you need him to, and they needed this win badly. And who comes through when you need it? Because I like, he looks banged up. There's a lot of things where I'm like, man, kind of sucks that he's this hurt and whatnot. But when they needed him once again, who was there to take this thing home?
I was the fucking GOAT, by the way. The greatest. You mentioned Rickey Henderson as the greatest Oakland athlete of all time. Like shit, dude. To me, before my time, right? To me, Steph, man, like that's my GOAT, right? For sure. Out of all the sports, so he was awesome tonight. By the way, I was really pissed. Like that extended the last game. Really pissed after our show to yesterday when I was just, I finally got some time. I was like, I got some good sleep like yesterday, so I was like, okay, I'm on my phone. I'm gonna go fire off some tweets, and all I'm seeing on
never a good idea.
Never a good idea when you're just on social media for too long. And of course, I'm seeing everybody like, "Oh, Steph is washed. Steph is washed." The problem here, and I'm listening to these podcasts that are kind of bringing them like, "Well, Steph is, kind of the reason." And I'm kind of sitting here and it's like, yeah, he might be struggling. You should be doing more to help him instead of thinking about, oh, he's struggling. Let's think about what we should be doing instead away from him. No. If Steph is struggling, go make life easier for him, right? If Podziemski, who played very well tonight, TJD, who was very good tonight, Kuminga, who made some big shots in the fourth quarter, those guys play well, that helps Steph, and then Steph can do what he does at the end of the game. It's not the other way around. And Sam, I was really angry about that because I was like, you guys should be trying to help Steph, not think about the next 5 years because Steph is 37 and he's on the downslope of his career, right? Just, come on, man.
I mean, I went through the existential crisis the last couple of days too. I'm like, is it over? Is he done? And then I keep going back to like, man, the Olympics was 3 months ago, and I know that dude did not look done to me. I watched all the best players on the court, and I watched who was the guy who saved everyone, who got the ball at the end, who is that guy. And so, it's sometimes you get a loss like Thursday, you like start second guessing like everything, you're like, is the sky really blue? Like that sort of thing. But like, to your point, he's still special. He's still, I think Steve Kerr said it Wednesday or Thursday when they asked him, like, can you still win around Steph? And he's like, dude, these guys don't come along very often. You gotta, it is a really stupid question, by the way, but his overarching point was, man, you can kill it in like 10 drafts in a row, and you might not get a player who scratches the surface of how good he is. Orlando's like a trendy team. I don't know why they're on my mind right now. Actually, I do know why they're on their mind because like Jalen Suggs was the guy we wanted the Warriors to get. They obviously passed on Franz Wagner, and Paulo Banchero looks like a very good player. Like killed it in every draft. Are any of those guys going to touch Steph Curry?
No.
That's my point. Like they did everything perfectly. They get a top pick, they nail it. They nail a number 5 and a number 8 pick. They have this nice core. They might win something in the future. You know, they look like they're doing the right things there. And none of those guys are touching this because we're talking about a Mount Rushmore player. We're not talking about just a run-of-the-mill superstar. We're talking about a guy who, for the next 40 years, people are going to just argue, oh, this guy's not as good as Steph. You know, like it's a fact. Like he's an all-timer. So I agree with you. It's like very frustrating when you see a situation where this team does not provide the necessary support for Steph Curry at age 36 that he deserves at this stage.
He's still an incredible closer, huh? Like tonight, I was just watching that. I was just, man. You know, sometimes I think at this point in his career in the regular season, he's kind of sitting there. He's just like, I'm just never going to sit in anything in the 2-point land because it's incredible. Everything's going in from 3, and tonight, it's all he does. Is there any player?
Andy, you're in your 30s. Do you go into the lane?
I haven't gone in the paint since I was 27, 26. Exactly. But me and Steph shoot differently. You know what I mean? I shoot more like Kevon Looney. But yeah, it's I watch a lot of basketball, and we hear, I think the big criticism nowadays is too many teams shoot too many threes, and that's why the NBA ratings are down, right? That's the new topic of the last couple months of the NBA.
This is why the ratings are down.
That's why the ratings are down. And then you go and watch Steph, especially in crunch time, and you're like, yeah, maybe that's the reason, but Steph Curry is definitely the reason why people watch basketball, and it's because he takes and makes these type of threes in these biggest, and it's not a huge moment. It's freaking December 21st, but it's a huge moment for the Warriors this season. They needed this win.
They needed it. They needed that win. They needed. I don't know if it's going to turn the season, but they've been 2 of 9 in their last 11. It's been a free fall. Like they're desperate for anything to provide positive momentum to turn the corner. And yeah, by the way, I don't buy that at all. Like I do agree. Let's do 2 minutes on this.
Okay.
I think people may have an issue with the fact that it's hard to play defense in the NBA, and that is their overarching issue. But I don't buy people are like too many threes. Same people who say too many threes are the people who tell you college basketball is better, and that's only threes. That's all they do in college. All they do is chuck threes. Nobody goes to the paint in any capacity in college. I don't buy the 3-point thing at all. I think it's a more nuanced, like cultural discussion on what the NBA is struggling with right now. But no one wants to have that conversation. It's just easier to be like, oh, they're shooting too many threes.
What do you think it is?
I mean, obviously it's LeBron's fault. So I think it's a little bit of everything. I think they spent a decade getting away from their core business. I think they spent a lot of time telling fans the regular season doesn't matter and you're an asshole for asking players to try hard. I think load management nonstop, again, that's not the player's fault. That's the team's fault. But you keep sending the message to consumers, hey, man, I don't even know if we're going to play on December 21st. I don't know why you should watch. You know, You send that message enough. Don't be surprised if people are not like dying to watch your product 24/7. So everything's kind of downstream from, if you don't take it seriously, fans aren't going to take it seriously. Compare that to like the NFL, where it's like everyone's like acts like live or die if you don't play in a game. You got like Fred Warner out there with like a broken foot, and he's like, I gotta play. And it's like, dude, your season's already cooked. What are you doing? You know? Like, it's a mentality thing, you know? You're trying to you're telling people that it's important. If you tell people it's not important, guess what? They're gonna believe you and say it's not important.
I think that's it, actually. I think that's the one. Just they have too many games. Like, they just added a game, the NBA Cup Championship, that nobody wants to play in, and then the team wins, doesn't celebrate it. It's a big slap in the face to Adam Silver, and honestly, Adam Silver deserves it for putting together the type of bullshit that he has. And I think the other thing, I think that's this one's tough, because I think one of the guys played tonight. We watched Anthony Edwards played, and you can see, like, dude's got crazy talent. He's just on a bad team right now. As I think it's two layers. One, they failed to put together the next wave of athletes, and then the next wave of athletes aren't interesting, and there's no rivalry. So I think those are the two. Like they combine. It's like
Yeah, you need some hate. You need some.
where's the
real
hate? Like is it Jaylen Brown? Is it Boston versus Houston? I know there's like they don't like Ime Udoka. Is that like there needs to be some real hate? Really, what it should be OKC and Boston. Like those are two could be awesome basketball teams. Can they hate each other? Is that it? SJ and Tatum, who are honestly like pretty vanilla players, like they're pretty boring, but they're awesome. Like there needs to be some true hate, Sam, that can get us there. I think those are the two teams that I think the NBA needs to get there because those are the two teams that should be in the NBA Finals for the next 3 years. So it's like, can they figure it out?
Minnesota looks like a mess, but I do think Ant can be one of those guys because he's so like demonstratively competitive. Like we can go back and forth on what we think of him as a player, but he does go after dudes and he's not afraid to call dudes out and compete hard. I've kind of become a big Ant guy over the last couple of years. Like I wasn't super high on him a few years ago. I was just like, questionable decision making. Didn't know. Obviously, he developed the skill part of his game, but also just like I like the attitude he plays with. I like that he tries on defense. I like they talk shit to everyone, including Steph. I like that. I like that he's not afraid to put himself out there, and sometimes he gets his ass handed to him, but he's not afraid to continually do it. That's the type of thing I like to see. I like to see guys compete, not guys who act like they're too cool.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect. It's the difference between Ant and someone like. I think Jokic has the problem. He's not too cool.
Well, even
he
like
has the problem.
Shea's just like shot. Like, what do you know about him? You know what I mean?
You're saying
like,
Ant versus Shea. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, his game doesn't have personality, and he doesn't have personality. Ant has both. It just Shea's the way better player than Ant. That's the kind of difference. It's like, okay, maybe not way better, but
she got a way better team for sure. Team.
Right. He is a better player, I think. I'll say that. I'll kind of be hard lined on that, but I just I don't know. The NBA has so many good players, so many good teams. It does kind of suck. Maybe they'll figure it out. I know Adam doesn't care because everyone's getting paid. They just got that TV deal, so whatever. He's like, I don't give a fuck. But
we'll see.
Whatever.
We'll see where they land. Let's get back to the game.
Let's get back to the Warriors. Yeah.
This game was a fucking meat grinder. It was like I actually am very curious to see what they do Monday night when they get back home against the Pacers, because the Pacers have been a mess, but that's a team that's given them issues the last couple of years. Indies walked into Chase Center and beat them the last 2 years. And I remember both those games where they beat them. I was like, really? They're going to lose at home to the Pacers? Like the type of games where the team spiraled a little bit. So I don't know, maybe I'm over-indexing it, but like the Warriors should win that one. And then obviously got Lakers on Christmas. So what you wonder if like this is the game that, I don't want to say turns the corner and everything's good again, but like, man, they were spiraling. They were on the verge of falling out of the play-in, and it's still early, but it's like at some point you got to get back on track with some wins.
I think this is the game that they thought they were going to get against Memphis. And I'm not going to say that Dennis Schroder solved everything, but I do think having him here made life a lot easier, because was tonight the best game that we saw from Podziemski and TJD, and it's not the best game for Kuminga, but like he showed flashes, right, which is kind of big.
It was a great game for the young. It was a great game for the young players because it looked like they were going to kind of piss the game away in the third quarter. And it was the young guys who showed fight. It wasn't perfect, but it was just like make enough plays to stay in the game, hold, and then let Steph come back in at what did he come back in at? The 7 minute mark?
7.5.
Yeah, instead of the 10, like let him get his full rest, let him come back in and let him close, because you did enough to make that possible. Whereas like over the last 2 to 3 weeks, what would have happened during that stretch? It would have spiraled to the Wolves being up 12 and then Steph coming in with like a puncher's chance at best. Right. So I thought that was huge. You're right.
I think part of that is just having him there. I mean, Schroder's numbers weren't even great, honestly. But you just watch him play.
I lost my prize picks play. It definitely wasn't great.
It wasn't, and I don't even know if he's playing that well. But it's just the fact that you're getting 20 minutes from a guy that's not Lindy Waters. you're getting 20 minutes from a guy that's not Podz playing the primary ball handler role. You're not having Wiggins handle the ball more than he needs to, especially in the second unit. Like that stuff is that downstream.
Did you see him? Did you
goodness.
see? Did you see Schroder? He's either at the end of the third or beginning of the fourth. Was like rallying Podz and TJD and kind of getting into their ear about what they needed to do. It was like a quick shot, but it was like being very vocal and essentially doing what a veteran point guard does,
Right.
which is direct people around and, what they haven't had all year. Right. So that moment stuck in my mind. And yeah, I agree with you. He hasn't, he's been in the Warriors 2 games. Let's be real. One scrimmage and one game. I imagine his shot and scoring will come around. It wasn't there tonight, but I felt his impact. I felt like just having a veteran who stabilized the unit, made some plays through his body around, like it mattered.
It's a little bit of the Chris Paul thing. I know Steve is probably going to bring it up. He's not doing the presser yet, but there's a little bit of that where it's like, he's going to get us in the sets and he's going to make the right plays. There's a little of that. Shooter's more dynamic now.
Sure.
Because he's younger and stuff like that. But there's a little bit of that. I think when the Chris Paul stuff did work last season, this was why, right? It's because that you can't elevate some of these younger players to a higher role because they're just not. They're one, not good enough, two, not ready. Whatever it is, combination of both. And I think we love the Schroder. By the way, is it Schroder or Schroder? I can't get it right. What is it? What is the actual pronunciation? I need chat to help us out here or someone. What is the actual?
I'm gonna get it wrong. I think it's Schroder, but whatever I say, someone's gonna tell me I'm wrong, no matter what.
Schroder, Schrodinger. Oh,
he did have a great game. I will say, he did not help me win in Prize Picks. I went with the over on his stats tonight. Did not get them, but I'll take it. I'll take the Bam loses on Prize Picks, but the Warriors win, and he's a vital part with the intangibles type of way. I'll take that every night. You know how it goes. You can't win every night. You can't win every night, but Prize Picks, kept me engaged. I needed the Prize Picks game tonight after Thursday because I did not want to watch tonight's game in any capacity coming into it. I was like, I need something on this to make me feel a little more into it, So yeah, I lost across. What you gonna do? You can't bet 1,000.
$50 instantly when you deposit $5 with promo code Lightyears. I did one with the women's basketball game today. I caught that during halftime.
Juju versus Paige.
Yeah. There's a good one. Yeah, it was fun. So shout out to Prize Picks. That's the other thing, and I know we'll go in quickly on this before I do the next read. It's Prize Picks also gets you to watch stuff that you haven't watched before. Because I'm over here putting parlays together on sports that I've never seen before. Shout out Prize Picks, man. Shout out to the promo code Lightyears. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. And Will Lightyears podcast is brought to you by Game Time. Everyone knows Game Time, ticketing app that we've had for a few months now. But what we haven't talked about, Game Time has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste your time searching thousands of tickets. Pick an upcoming game. What do we got here? We got the Pacers. There you go.
Some good tickets, by the way, for Monday night's game. Some good prices. If you guys want to go, get on Game Time for sure.
What do we got there? Look at that one. That's $295 for a lower bowl. I mean, dude, that's really good. For Chase Center.
Lower bowl. That's getting into a club. It's a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Chase Center's
under
got
100 to get in. Pretty good. Yeah.
I need to go. I need to be there. So you got the super deal. We're only doing Chase Center, but like they've got concert tickets, which I always talk about again at Chase Center. But anywhere else, you got baseball games that's coming back. You got football games. There's still a few. The Niners have still got a few. You might be able to get in easy because they're out of the playoff run. So use Game Time. Use the code Lightyears for $20 off your first purchase. You get all in pricing, right? So you toggle the feature, shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Get the seat views. It's my favorite part. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. And 2 quick ones. So lowest price guarantee. Game Time credits you 110% of difference. Number 2, Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the best customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download Game Time app, create an account, use code LIGHTYEARS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time.
Game time. So we were talking on it a minute ago, and I think it's important to call out. This might have been Trayce and Pod's best game of the season. Maybe not statistically, but like in terms of impacting winning in high leverage moments. Yeah, probably. They've had a slow start to the year. They've had a poor start to the year. There's no other way around it, right? I know Fitz was super hyped to let us know Podz' shooting numbers have been good over the last 6 to 7 games. And you know, I do think his shot is coming around. I mean, God, that was really bad for the first 20 games. Like, there's no way around that. And Trayce like had his own issues. Like, he went through like a month there where I was like, wait, can he not finish? Like, what's going on here? You know. But anyway, they both were highly impactful in minutes that mattered. And I think your point is right. I think Schroder had a lot to do with it. Just having another playmaker in there, another veteran who puts them in roles they're more comfortable in. Like Trayce, he is a rim runner. He's a pick and roll big to finish. Having a guard who runs pick and roll kind of helps. Having a guy who could throw him a lob, get him going a little bit, that helps. And Podz, like, he might not be a point guard. You know, he might not. He might be a secondary ball handler. He might be a shooting guard. He might be a connector, whatever you want to call it. He looks a lot better when he plays next to Steph, as everyone does. That's not a particularly revelatory statement, but he looks a lot better playing next to Schroder too, because he got to play off of a guy and kind of make secondary reads. I think that's a big part of it too, because they were kind of counting on him. I mean, whether it's right or wrong, they came into the season being like, all right, buddy, go out there, be Steve Nash in the second unit. And
so this game felt like they put a lot of pressure on those 2 second-year guys. And they're not talented. Even the most talented players are going to struggle and have sophomore slumps. They're not the most talented guys. And it felt like the pressure got to them. For a team that the Warriors are covered like one of the top teams in the NBA, right? Like, it's not like they're playing on the freaking Detroit Pistons and there's no pressure. You just go out there and you just fuck around, do whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters, right? It's like they're playing on the Warriors. Steph Curry's on this team. A lot of media coverage. You're going to get blown up a lot. And I think that got to someone. I think those were the two guys. TJD, who came in the season. Dude, the worst thing you can call a player is soft, I think. And TJD was pretty much labeled as soft in the last month. Like, that is bad. That's not something. And tonight, he dunked on Gobert, blew by Gobert, and dunked. How many dunks did he have tonight? 2, 3?
You know, Draymond didn't play tonight, but he manifested. He's like, you know what? You like get him, right. Trayce.
Right. Yeah, he had the Gobert overplayed. He spun around, had the dunk, and I'm kind of sitting there like, where the fuck has that been all season? And then really, and most importantly, that Podz point that you're making, it was huge. He only played 20 minutes tonight, which I thought was interesting. Might be better for him. And he was great. I mean, the shooting's back, decision making's great. He never turns the ball over. I always say that. He never turns the ball over. On a team that turns the ball over way too much, he never turns the ball over. And if he's not the one that's starting the offense, I think I was wrong on this coming into the season. I was like, okay, just get Podz to run the offense. That's not, you said it. It's not what he should be doing. And maybe that's not ever what he should be doing, but it's not what he should be doing right now. I think that easy comp is like Dante DiVincenzo, by the way, who looks miserable playing in Minnesota.
I feel bad for him. Dante's had the last couple of years have been like, you know, the resurgence of Villanova Dante. Awesome. And it's like, he's miserable. A good player and he's a fun player. And now he's back in hell.
He is in hell. But I do think he's a good comp for Podz, where it's like, if Dante doesn't have to dribble a lot, just shoot some threes and play some defense, make some hustle plays, like, he's a really good player. Like, that's a player that's going to it's going to be in the league for a long time. So by far the best two. And I think you point out the most important part. They played great minutes in minutes that mattered. They played great minutes in the fourth quarter in a game that they needed it on the road.
A popular name for Podz is a comp for him. And like, the Warriors would be so lucky if this happened, is like Derek White. Like, have you watched Derek White this year? It's straight up all-star. Sorry.
Well, he's playing like prime Klay Thompson is what he's doing. Sicko.
40% on 9 threes a game. Like, what the fuck? You know,
what's going on?
Maybe that'll like yeah, 38 I can buy, 40 like let's relax, like it's a little much, but he's another one of those guys where it's like he's a point guard, but he's also not really a point guard. Like he's best when he's kind of playing a combo guard role, and maybe that's the best way to think of Podz. And I don't know, isn't that kind of the direction all these teams are going, where they're playing kind of two combo guards, alleviating some of the pressure in general? So, Podz is certainly not Chris Paul. He's certainly not like the traditional, like, I will run the offense the way I want to run it, and it does not matter who is around me or who's guarding me. I'm a point guard, He's certainly not that guy.
I was hoping. I was hoping, but the Derek White one is interesting. The problem I have with that is Derek White's a really good defensive player. Like is he not one of the best shot blocking guards in the NBA, which is insane. But like he's long, right? Podz, they're theoretically the same heights, but Podz isn't long. So I think
Podz is taller than him. But
but you watch
the
him play,
wingspan kind of
sure. There's a big difference. It just maybe defensively he gets there. I don't know. Pod's still young, but
no, nothing likely. I'm not even being a hater. It's just Derek White's a phenomenal.
Really
defender.
good, right? Really good. But Pod shuffles his feet, so like that's the part. Laterally maybe he gets there, but no, I just the 20 minutes is blowing. It's blowing my mind. Steve was not messing around tonight. This was a must-win rotation.
Well, maybe that's what it needs to be. If Steph's going to play his normal minutes and Schroder's for sure playing starters minutes, we'll call it 30. Play 28 tonight, but let's say it's 30-ish. There's not that many minutes to be had for him and Buddy. So 20 is about right. 20 is about right for him. 20 is about right for Buddy, and I don't think that's a bad thing either.
No, it's not.
Like capacity. Like it's a little lower stakes. It's like own your role, be a really good 15 to 20 minute per game guy, and see what happens from there. Instead of like over the summer, Joe's talking about how we think he'd be an all-star and like you're just setting him up for fucking failure.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Maybe I think his upside's higher than probably most people think, and a lot of it's because I just think I've watched him live enough times. Like he's bigger than you think, and he's stronger than you think, and I think the IQ's there that I think he'll eventually figure it out, and the shot will get a little more consistent. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it never changed, and this is just who he is. Like it wouldn't surprise me. I personally believe a little bit. But if you're thinking it's happening year 2 and you're going to speak like that, like that's just unfair. That's not real.
I think the same kind of goes for Kuminga with this team,
sure,
who I thought has some really good moments. Kuminga's, I think, the king of. I'm watching the game and I'm like, oh, Warriors need a possession here. They're up 1, and he goes and gets to the free throw line, or he hits an 8-foot fadeaway, and I'm like, golly, he must be having a good game. Then I go and look at the numbers, and I'm like, fuck, man, he's shooting 3 for 11. He's shooting 3 for 11. He missed the free throw. He didn't get a rebound. So it's always interesting. Sometimes the eye test doesn't really match all the way with Kuminga. But I thought he played well, honestly. Just I kind of show it.
I was gonna say I kind of like him having a good bad stats game because it tells me he's growing. Like he was not playing particularly well tonight, but he still showed up and made key plays when it mattered, which is, let's just say 2 years ago, that wouldn't have been a thing. 2 years ago, it's like he either plays well or bad, and the box score will tell you no matter what. He didn't have games where, he's not hitting shots, but when it matters, he's able to go get you a key free throw because you just need to stop a run from bleeding. He's able to get you key loose ball because you just need to end a possession, those type of things. So I'm with you. Like when we look back at his stats over the course of the year, December 21st, 3 for 11 is not going to pop to anyone. But if you watch the game, you're like, you know what? He made plays when they mattered, and that's really all I'm looking for right now.
It is. The 10-man lineup, I think, makes sense. Draymond didn't play tonight, and Moody didn't play tonight, so it's 2 guys that are out in a theoretical 12-man lineup. But they've got to stick to a 9-10-man lineup, and if the players are told that they get certain minutes, it only helps. And it looked like
it makes it a little more makes everyone a little more comfortable, right?
It does. All right. We got some other things. I want to talk about some other things too, but before we do, It's my favorite sponsor. We are brought to you by Manscaped. Everyone with the holidays creeping up faster than your aunt's fruitcake recipe. Aunt doesn't have fruitcake. Actually, she does. She does. We got mangoes on our fruitcakes. I've got something way better to share with you, though. If you want to look sharp for all these festive gatherings,
Caucasian Andy fruitcake.
There's look at that. Look at the Manscaped box. Look at the red ribbon. You know what you should do?
I will say they sent me the Chairman Pro.
Wow.
And the packaging was so nice. It almost made me not open it because I'm like, this looks too good. You know, I put it on my desk for an extended period of time, but then I need to shave as I always do because I just constantly grow facial hair. So
this is the sell. Actually, people should be using here. Hold on. So Chairman Pro, the promo code is LightYears. Manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping. You should get it for someone. Go get it. Go get it for your cousin. Go get it for your brother. I get it for my brother. Go get it for pops. You know what I mean? Like go get it for someone. Manscaped, man. Everybody has Manscaped. I know all of our listeners already has Manscaped. But if you do have it and you don't think you need another one, go get it for someone. But if you want to get it for yourself, here's the latest masterpiece. The Chairman Pro electric foil shaver. Trust me, it's like Rudolph for your face, guy.
Now of razors, the Chairman.
the Joe Lake of
strong, razors. Powerful.
Man, let's dive into the goods. The Chairman Pro, armed with not one but two interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. Think of them as your grooming superheroes. The skin-safe 4-blade foil for when you want that baby's bottom smooth. And the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep some stubble but clean it up a bit. Things waterproof, right? So you can use in the shower. It also simplifies cleanup if you're lazy, you want to be efficient like me. Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves either. Powerful enough to tackle up to a 5-day growth. I shave like every 3-4 days, so this is perfect for me. Whether you're shaving every day or you're tidying up after a few. It's also got 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge, so you can pack it up to go and don't have to worry about it running out of battery. So listen, Chairman Pro, experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off free shipping with the code LightYears at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with the code LightYears at manscaped.com. All right, we are brought to you by Mint Mobile. With big wireless providers, what you see is never what you get. Somewhere between the store and your first month's bill, the price you thought you were paying magically skyrockets with Mint Mobile. You'll never have to worry about gotchas ever again. $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's crazy. And they mean it. New customers get 3 months of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. Mint Mobile. All plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile phone. Bring your phone number along with your existing contacts to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/lightyears. That's mintmobile.com/lightyears. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/lightyears. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Let's talk a little Kuminga Draymond real quick. So we're talking like I thought ultimately Kuminga was very impactful down the stretch. I'd love to see that. And honestly, if he asserts himself like that, he will be playing more and more minutes in general. So no Draymond tonight. Are you taking it as anything other than like he's old, he's probably a little banged up, and they just thought it was like just rest him?
Yeah, because he's on the bench. If he wasn't on the bench, they sent him home. Maybe I'd be worried, but he was on the bench.
You think conspiracy theory, maybe, but not the case. So what I found interesting, I mean, I'm not the only person, but like they start Kyle Anderson.
Okay. Oh.
Is that noise? Noise in the background?
Oh. Are you I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
Well, no, my question for you is like I was a little surprised by that. Now, on the one hand, I can justify it from a basketball perspective. They wanted Trayce out there to give Dennis Schroder a pick and roll partner. Also, like Kyle Anderson's the player plays closest, like Draymond. So letting everyone get comfortable, kind of having that point forward who moves everything. On the other hand, we're like 2 weeks removed from Kuminga's going to start every game. And it's so important that we get these reps, and now they've already pivoted in different direction. I don't know. It's just honestly, it's actually not that interesting because it's the same fucking shit they've done for 2 years, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just talking out of both sides of your mouth, and like, you can tell us you love him all you want, but I don't see a player that they love. I see a player that they're like, he's okay, he's talented. We know that there's something here, but I'm not sure.
100% agreed. I think it's bullshit. I think it's unfair to Kuminga, unfair to Steve Kerr, unfair to the fans. The only person that it's fair to is the front office because they don't seem to give a shit. It reminds me of, for people that are Giants fans, and I know you watch the Giants as much as I do, Samuel, is it reminds me of how Marco Luciano was treated. And it's kind of like similar because they're both super talented. They're both got all the tools. And we have to hear from the coaching staff, GM, say, okay, he's going to play shortstop. It's like, dude, he sucks on defense. He can't play shortstop. Play him a shortstop, he sucks. Then it's like, okay, he's going to play DH. We're going to make the trade deadline. He was a DH for 2 games. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
And then he's
publicly gone. They publicly tell you, like, we think he's a future superstar. We love him. We're so high on him. And then it's like, well, if you're that high on him, why do you give him one at bat and then pinch hit him? Because your actions don't show me that of someone who believes in him. You know, like you're trying to do this psych op thing where you're like, I love him. I think he's great. And that's why I'm playing Kyle Anderson instead of him. That's why I'm pinch hitting him with, like Mike Yastrzemski or some shit like that, where it's just like, all right. So
it truly is. And the Warriors actually are doing it at a higher scale, right? Because Luciano, like, he's probably got a couple of years left. Like, they literally told us, we are not going to pay you. We are not going to extend you. And so everything that they're telling us now is bullshit. And this point where they told us, hey, it's time to change the offense. It's time to go into this next level. And they go away from that. Sam, you know what I think? I think it's a fool's errand anyway. I think it can't feature him on offense anywhere, right? But they're not.
But you know when you're being
lied to, honest try. Yeah. What the?
I think that's I think that's the part that's annoying. It's because I think I disagree with you. I think there's a little more they could do to get him going. Maybe I'm higher on Kuminga than you. Whatever. That's just my opinion. We have different opinions on that, but what I think we both agree with is I don't think Steve believes it, and I don't see them doing anything to actually make it happen. And so I just feel like I'm being lied to the entire time. That's what it comes down to. It's like the whole, we love you. And that's why we, decided to send you back to the minors. Like, okay.
Why is he even on the team? Like, why isn't Cam Johnson on the team? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, Steve Kerr would love Cam Johnson. And I'm sure the front office is like, well, we don't want Cam Johnson. Like, the upside is low. It's like, can y'all agree on something? Because it's like, because it just doesn't. Even tonight's game, right? And I'm kind of sitting there. It's like, I liked how he played 20 minutes or so, but it's like
23 minutes.
Future your franchise playing 23 minutes. Kyle Anderson starting 17 minutes. I thought Kyle Anderson was good tonight. I like Kyle Anderson minutes. I always like Kyle Anderson minutes, though. I'm just that type of guy. But it's like, come on. Like, to me, it's like if they start Kyle Anderson and TJD, like, they would have given up. I know Minnesota's defense is fucking terrible, but it's like that front line's giving up 40 in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? So it's like they have to start Kyle Anderson, or they got to go Kuminga and Looney. It's like that or the other, right? Like they can't go.
And I think, and I do think the Trayce thing was about that Schroder. It's like we need to, we get a pick and roll guard who's lightning. Like we need to get him someone he can run the 2-man game with, and that's not Looney. Looney's the guy you put out there to screen and pass back to Steph. So, I get that, but it's kind of like. It's a rough one. Anyway, whatever. They won tonight. We got Indiana coming in here. We got our friend Pascal Siakam. We got always Warriors legend trade target Miles Turner coming in. What if I told you Miles Turner was on the table still?
We doing that? You serious?
Yeah.
Really? Is he really on the table? Because yes.
I mean, he hasn't signed an extension. So.
Oh man, Oh, bring it back. Run it back. Let's do the next 45 minutes.
What's old is new, brother. What's old is new.
Run it back. I mean, Sasa Vujacic. Nikola Vucevic, forget it. Miles Turner, that's the guy that the Warriors need.
Give me Vooch with a little D. Yeah.
Yeah, pause. Like, that's need it. Absolutely need it. Pacers are a mess this season. And maybe that'll be helpful because they're what happened to Halliburton. So hey, I would love that. The Warriors, I mean, like we're talking about them like not big if they don't make a big one. Miles Turner, dude, that would make me. You guys see the smile on my face, man? Can they throw Nembhard in there? And maybe that's the comp for Podz. You know what I mean? Like Nembhard, that's a good one. Like Nembhard's a really good player, right? But
Nemby's got a little more wiggle than Podz.
Nemby's
funny because it makes you think of Wemby, and so
Nimby.
It's a funny nickname. That man got himself paid in the playoffs. So I'll tell you that. When I was watching the Pacers in the playoffs, I'm like, is this a future superstar? I don't know. You see the way he's cooking?
Could they trade Halliburton and trade Halliburton for some wings, build around Nemby?
Is this the Siakam, Halliburton? Are we sure Nembhard's not the best player on the team? You know, it's like that's.
Have you seen the Warriors' schedule? By the way, I'm looking at it right now. It's they got a shot here. I mean, it's. I know Fitz was yelling at us about it was tough. You know,
look, they had a tough go of it, and they certainly didn't play well during it. But it does. I don't want to say it gets easy, but you know, it's closer to doable, right? You know, you got Suns coming to town. You got the little Clippers. You got the Lakers. Are the Sixers good again? I don't know. Maybe. Kings, fuck them. Miami Heat, Pistons. I fucking hate the Kings. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not a team I have more hate for in my heart than them. So not since their owner came out here and screwed the Oakland A's over. After that city spent a decade crying about it. You can't steal our team. You can't steal our team. First ones to put their fucking hands out and steal another city's teams. Absolute trash. Good luck. De'Aaron Fox is leaving your city. You're going to be worthless. Done. Enjoy 40-year-old DeRozan and Sabonis. You know?
Yeah.
Like I don't like the Lakers. I don't like them for the same reason. Everyone in the Bay Area doesn't like them. Little obnoxious, you know, our entire lives. But I don't hate them. I don't hate them the way I hate the Kings. I'll put
the Kings, man. I didn't know that. Now that's a Vivek thing, huh?
It's a 100% Ace thing. 100% Ace.
Well, it's a Vivek.
I actually had
he was the one.
I had zero hate for them prior to that. Before it was just like they're another division team. They're fun to go against. Sometimes they have a little rivalry. It is what it is. You know, it's not a real thing. But it's like the cardinal sin. You know, and let's be real. He did it because he wanted to one up Lacob. He did it pure because Lacob wanted to buy the A's and keep them local. This is all reported. So
Joe Lacob's the GOAT, bro. Joe Lacob.
Enjoy. I'm gonna enjoy your demise. It's gonna be my 5th and 6th ring. So.
Yeah. By the way, you did call De'Aaron Fox gone. Writing's on the wall when he hires Clutch. De'Aaron Fox is going to be a San Antonio Spur in less than a year.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't want that because you think the Warriors' window is pretty much done. It's gonna be done when they got Fox with Wemby.
Yeah, Fox and Wemby. That is. I mean, I want to see that. I just think that's so cool because I love Fox. Anyway, I turned into a Kings podcast. But if it's a Kings,
he's great. He's great. Like I mean, as much as I'm hating, you're right. It is purely about ownership. I don't hate the fans. I don't hate the city. I love the city. They're gonna hate me for everything I've said, but you know, I truly don't. You know, I'm
good city.
Big fan of the people. But you know.
Gotta
draw my line.
Enjoy Keegan Murray. By the way, Keegan Murray, is this sophomore? Junior? He's a 3rd year? Talk about a slump. Talk about like Podz and TJD going through a slump. Keegan Murray. This game's hard. Game of basketball is hard, man. I think
it is hard.
Game of basketball is hard. Unless you're Steph, I guess, who's just unbelievable no matter what.
Yeah. Appreciate everyone, guys. We'll be back as always. Have a great night.